Slanjava everyone, welcome to Whisky and Synths. This is the channel that blends whiskey drinking with music making. And if you're a music producer looking to keep motivated, finish tracks, and also have a bit of fun along the way, you're in the right place. And today's video is a massive shout out to PlayPM, this synth YouTuber. He's fucking legend, okay? Now, if you've not heard of PlayPM, basically it's this like synth YouTuber guy, but unlike every other synth YouTuber out who's like doing a million gear reviews and things like that, he's just like, nah, he just gets a bit of gear, completely like tears into it. Like he's one on like the MPC thing, he just absolutely destroys it, slags it off brutally, and shows you how for a fraction of the cost on like an old laptop, you can just do the exact same thing, but even better. And this whole like mentality and like mindset is something I can so get on board with. Okay, PlayPM, you're a fucking legend, right? So basically, with the whole YouTube synth thing, like we're just shoved gear in our face all the time, and it's such like a consumerist thing. It's just like, oh, you know, you gotta have this synth, you gotta have this groove box, you gotta have this, and it's just like overwhelming. And what it's doing is it's like sapping everyone's creativity, like it's sapping everyone's actual like artistic voice, and it's changing a whole like community and industry into just a bunch of people who are obsessed with the latest update on this thing. And it's really starting to upset me, and loads of the content I've been making that's getting released soon is all about the opposite. It's about mindset and music production skills and kind of like your how to get your motivation back and stuff. And so PlayPM has been doing this, I'm late on board, for maybe over 2 years, taking like exactly a bit of kit, like the Electron synth kit or whatever, with like, you know, and he even goes into details slagging off how it's like got that pattern lock thing or parameter lock thing, and he's like, it's basically just like shit automation that you can do in a DAW that's even like 10,000 times better. And he uses GarageBand and all these other things to show you how you can replicate it in your DAW. So it's absolutely amazing. PlayPM, I totally stand by you, because even recently I've been feeling it. I've been working my sort of main day job in a radio podcast studio at a college. I commute 30 minutes each way by train, and on the commute, I'm just using Ableton Lite actually on like a little portable like MacBook kind of thing that work gave me, and just making demos on the train. And I've started to feel like, oh, guilty, like, oh, it isn't real music though, you know, this is like not like real music, and which is so dumb. Like, I even get in this mindset, like, just because it's made on like, you know, Ableton Lite or something, if it sounds good, it's good, okay? That's the important thing, you know. Might later export the stems, put them in the Ableton suite or whatever, but you know, I might add a little bit of keyboard or something. I'll get to that in a minute, because you might think, Dave, you're a hypocrite, you got all this a bit of gear there, but I'll address that in a minute. But essentially, why was I feeling guilty making my new EPs and albums and demos to send to my brother who we're collaborating on? Why did I internally feel guilty that, oh, it was just like on Ableton Lite on a little computer or something made 30 minutes in train? You don't need to feel guilty for that, okay? You do it any way you want, as long as it sounds good, and then that's the main thing. And this whole like culture of like being like obsessed with gear and kind of being like, oh, I just want the latest equipment and that, I've been there, like it's been me, I know exactly what it feels like, okay? But it's not always been that way. Like when I first got into music, when I left high school, you know, my brother and I, we got a bass, guitar, and like just like crap, pretty much crap keyboard from like a church village fair, some sale, bake sale, jumbo sale thing. And then we ran it through this like weird effects pedal that was like £50 we got from the guitar shop. It was a Zoom multi-effects pedal, and actually could do quite a lot. And in the end, we had our own band, and then eventually our own duo that I feel that it was 15 years ago, and we're re-releasing that album on the label soon. And I feel like, you know, we used what we had to do the best we could. And that's like so important, rather than doing nothing and looking at stuff you want and YouTube and stuff you want. Rather than that, you actually use the stuff you had to create. So if you have that balance of you're watching way too much YouTube about gadgets and synths and all that, producing less of the time, you know, that's a balance that needs addressed, okay? You need to use what you've got to actually fulfill your artistic vision, okay? Because you're creating art when you're a music producer. And you might think, oh, you know, I'm just making a track that slaps in a club. But if you can put your artistry and originality into that, it's going to connect more with people. Look at Bicep, who are like smashing it this year. They're one of the most original dance acts I've heard in so long. And they're booked to play every festival. Their album's in like, you know, the conventional charts as well as the not dance charts. So it proves that using what you've got and sending your own original message is more important than the gear, okay? And PlayPM shows you how to kind of emulate the gear you might want, but for free in your DAW. All you need is your laptop and a DAW, even a free DAW, and you can do it. And it doesn't even have to be a state-of-the-art laptop as well. So if you've got that and some headphones, you just go for it. And the last thing I wanted to address in this video, kind of shouting out PlayPM and how awesome PlayPM is you might think, well, Dave, look at you. You're sitting there and you've got like a bass and some equipment behind you, but I assure you, this is my living room, okay? It's just that. I've got a little keyboard synth thing there, a few pedals, a little MIDI controller, Novation circuit, and some speakers, and I'm really blessed with it. And that's been since 2016. I've been building up this humble collection here. And I kind of have sold stuff and got rid of it. I really slimmed it down as well. It can be a total distraction having too much gear. And I think using what you've got is great. Now, I'm not saying never treat yourself to a bit of gear you want. I'm not saying never do that, okay? But what I'm saying is don't feel like you have to have it and just stay in one position whilst you're waiting to save up for it. At least work away on your music with what you've got until you do afford to treat yourself and reward yourself with that. Because, you know, you do deserve these treats, but don't think you have to have them to do music production. And just a massive shout out to PlayPM for putting that philosophy out there on the internet, absolutely smashing it in the YouTube videos. And I want to say thank you so much for that. Respect. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with that attitude. And I hope you enjoyed this whiskey-fueled rant, and I hope you're excited for more Whisky and Synths content coming up in the autumn. I'm really excited to share it with you as well. And if you do need help with your music production, I've got a free gift for you down below. It's the Ultimate Guide to Synths ebook that I made. It's got quotes from famous artists, actual tutorials in sound design, and a bit of history about synths as well. So if you are interested in synthesizers, because they are a fun thing, as much as I've been saying you don't have to have like the latest one or whatever, but they are a fun thing to dork out on and it's cool to look at. So if you are interested, you can, that's a free gift for you down below, my Ultimate Guide to Synths. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And thanks to PlayPM for your awesome videos. Keep making them, and I'm looking forward to all hanging out in the future, whether it's online or offline. Catch you later. Slanjava. Whisky.